Animals have long captured the hearts of human beings. As every animal lover already knows, animals experience emotions, bonding, and friendships like humans do. We found some animals who have proven that those true bonds exist. Let's take a look at some heartwarming and touching animal encounters. Polar bear befriends man. Mark Dumas and his wife Dawn are fearless animal handlers who train animals for film and television. From their Vancouver, Canada-based outfit, they provide a variety of animals for every type of production: movies, television, commercials, and documentaries. They create choreography and stunts conducted by a wide variety of animals. Their most special accomplishment was training an 800-pound polar bear named Aggie, who they considered to be their pet. Aggie and Mark have a true bond, showing trust and affection to each other with hugs and kisses and even swimming together. For Mark, working with Aggie goes beyond just being a brave animal trainer, handling such a potentially dangerous animal. He says that his success with Aggie is a result of their lifelong friendship. Aggie has been with Mark for her whole life. At age 23, Aggie has already lived several years longer than wild polar bears usually live. Lioness spares a baby baboon. In a unique, touching, and very unlikely moment, a wild lioness rescued a baby baboon. Photographer Evan Schiller, who was on safari in Botswana, caught the whole scene on camera as it played out. In a wild melee, a pack of baboons was running from 4 lionesses who were stalking them. After the baboons scampered up trees to escape, one of them decided to try and make a run for her life. With her baby baboon clinging to her body, the brave baboon came down from a tree, but the lioness quickly snatched her up in her jaw. As the mother baboon perished in the jaws of the lioness, the baby baboon, only about a month old, let go of her mother's body, and with animal instinct kicking in, tried to climb back up the tree to get away from the lioness. The poor thing didn't have enough strength to climb and was left face to face with the lioness who had just taken out her mother. In a strange twist of behavior, the lioness's maternal instincts took over. Instead of snapping up the baby baboon in one quick and deadly move, the lioness began to play with the baboon. After gently pawing at the baboon, the lioness picked her up in her mouth and then settled down with the baby between her paws as if to protect her. After the baby baboon calmed down from the ordeal, in another instinctual moment, the baboon pulled the lioness close and tried to suckle. And if your heart hasn't completely melted at this point, another remarkable thing happened next. Distracted by a nearby commotion, the lioness turned her head away from her protective position over the baboon. At that very moment, the baboon's father, who had been watching all this from above, rushed down the tree, snatched up his baby baboon, and carried her off to safety. The heroic male baboon climbed back up the tree and cradled his baby baboon in his arms. The baby baboon was finally saved. Bird feeds fish. In another unusual example of interspecies care, a cardinal bird took it upon herself to feed some goldfish. The owner of a home garden with a small pond observed a red cardinal regularly visiting. The cardinal stopped at the pond's edge about 6 times a day and fed the goldfish, dropping what appeared to be seeds into the fish's waiting mouths. A YouTube video posted in 2010 by the garden owner, which has garnered almost 400,000 views, shows the bird carefully feeding the fish one by one. A Princeton biologist who saw the video theorizes that the confused bird thought the fish's mouths were baby birds' mouths. The goldfish mouths are similar in size and color to the baby cardinals. So, instinct triggered the cardinal to regularly provide food to what she thought were baby birds. The biologist went on to say that the cardinal was wasting its time feeding the fish, especially if the bird were neglecting her own. Sea turtles saved from barnacles. In 2017, a large loggerhead sea turtle was spotted by fishermen off the coast of Tasmania. Sea turtles are rarely spotted in those waters, and the fishermen took notice immediately, not just because he was a rare sight, but because they also realized the turtle desperately needed help. The giant 220-pound turtle was very lethargic and wasn't even able to submerge himself in the water. His shell was covered in barnacles, which suggested that the poor guy had been sedentary for quite some time. The fishermen raised him up with a heavy-duty net and immediately took him to a veterinarian. The vets x-rayed the turtle to look for any foreign matter, as sea turtles often ingest plastic bags thinking they are jellyfish. But that wasn't the case here, luckily. Rescuers gave the turtle an IV of fluids, and they handpicked the barnacles off of him one by one until he was nursed back to health. Baby moose looking for mom. Estonian soldier Yuri Priko was stationed with a unit in the woods. In search of what Priko called an alternative bathroom, he wandered off into the forest. While walking, the soldier heard some strange noises that he thought sounded like a small baby or cat. He then noticed an animal walking toward him that resembled a dog, making those noises. The soldier was taken aback by what he saw. The animal was a baby moose, and he was coming straight for him. In an attempt not to scare off the calf, Preco sat down on the ground to get low. The calf came straight for him and began nuzzling his armpits as if to look for something to suckle. Shocked and not sure what to do, Preco radioed to the military's veterinary office. A vet soon brought a bottle of milk to feed the calf in case the mother never appeared. After that, it was difficult for the soldier to leave the calf alone, but the soldiers knew it would be for the best if the mother could find her calf without being spooked by the soldiers. The move paid off, and in the morning, big moose footprints were found and the small calf was gone, reunited with his mother. Preco said that he views his duty as a soldier to protect animals as well as people, and he was proud of the mission he accomplished. Playful giant. What happens when a polar bear meets up with a dog? It sounds like the beginning of a joke with a bad punchline. But in this case, the encounter has a surprising outcome. Two wildlife photographers were in Manitoba, Canada in search of polar bears in an area known to be the polar bear capital of the world. Just outside the town, the photographers spotted a chained-up sled dog and a giant polar bear was slowly approaching. The photographers quickly started shooting video of the encounter, unsure of what would happen. Polar bears are dangerous predators and have been known to kill dogs in the area before. The photographers anxiously waited as the two animals met. Surprisingly, the polar bear began gently nudging the dog in a playful manner. The dog joined in, joyfully romping around and wagging his tail. At one point, the dog held the bear's face in his paws before the two curled up in an embrace. The playfulness continued for about 15 minutes. Eventually, the polar bear wandered off without harming his new friend. Romeo, the wolf in love. In the book A Wolf Called Romeo, author Nick Jans, a former hunter and wildlife photographer, told the story of Romeo, the wolf that changed his life. While living in Juneau, Alaska, Jans met up with a wolf. He had 20 years of experience around wolves from his time spent in the Arctic, so Jans immediately knew to be cautious around the animal. However, this particular wolf seemed relaxed and tolerant of his new human friend almost immediately. In fact, this unique wolf displayed much different behavior and developed a lifelong friendship with Jans, his family, and their pet dogs over the course of 6 incredible years, as the three species interacted with each other and gained trust. The family observed that the wolf was a bit of a playful flirt. In one special moment, the wolf met up with the Jans family dog, and the two stood nose to nose without any sign of aggression. The heartwarming scene was captured in a photo that now graces the cover of Jan's book. That was the moment when Jan's wife said, "There goes that Romeo wolf again," and that's how he got his name. Romeo was fully grown when he had entered Jan's life, and he lived for another 6 years, meaning he outlived a wild wolf by 3 times. Clearly, the special bond with Jan's family kept Romeo safe. Inky the octopus's escape. The National Aquarium of New Zealand once housed an octopus known as Inky. One night, Inky discovered that the lid to his aquarium was left open after the tank had been cleaned. Because he was a curious octopus, Inky ventured out of the tank, slid down the side of it, and then managed to make his way 10 feet across the floor to an open drain. Somehow, Inky maneuvered himself into the drain and traveled 164 feet through the pipe that emptied out into the Pacific Ocean. The aquarium officials say they didn't believe Inky was lonely or wanted to escape, but did mention that he was unusually intelligent and inquisitive. He had been a popular exhibit at the aquarium, but now he's back at sea and, hopefully, freely exploring his environment. Whale saves human? Biologist Nan Hauser had been researching whales for almost 30 years when she had an encounter unlike anything she had ever experienced before. During a whale-watching trip in the South Pacific, she was approached by a 60-foot-long, 40-ton humpback whale. The whale began to nudge Hauser with its mouth, and as this went on for 10 minutes, she feared for her life. When she finally made it back on her boat, she saw a tiger shark tail moving around in the distance. After she reviewed her film footage from the incident, she realized exactly what had been happening during her harrowing experience. In an extraordinary display of care, that whale saved Hauser from the approaching tiger shark. Lion, tiger, and bear trio. An unlikely trio of a lion, tiger, and bear were bonded together for life. The 3 animals were only a few months old when police found them during a raid of a crime scene in Atlanta. They were scared, injured, malnourished, and clinging to each other for comfort. They were taken to an animal sanctuary in Georgia and were kept there instead of being released into the wild because of the severe nature of their injuries. It was clear to the animal caretakers that their friendship was strong, so they chose to keep all three in the same habitat. It was a challenge to care for each species together since each animal had different nutritional, medical, and environmental needs. The three animals, Leo, an African lion, Baloo, the American black bear, and Shere Khan, a Bengal tiger, were inseparable. They lived together, played together, slept together, and even ate their meals together, just like a family. We hope you enjoyed the video. Which one of these animal stories touched you the most? Do you have any heartwarming animal stories of your own? Let us know in the comments. And if you liked the video, then please click the subscribe button and turn on notifications so you'll be the first to know when a new video arrives. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.